Parallel Evidence Rule, Section 10. Evidence of written agreements. When the terms of an agreement have been reduced to writing, it is considered as containing all the terms agreed upon, and there can be, as between the parties and their successor in interest, no evidence of such term other than the contents of the written agreement. However, a party may present evidence to modify, explain, or add to the terms of the written agreement if he or she puts in issue in a verified pleading an intrinsic ambiguity, mistake, or imperfection in the written agreement. B. The failure of written agreement to express the true intent and agreement of the parties thereto. C. The validity of the written agreement, or D. The existence of other terms agreed by the parties or their successor in interest after the execution of the written agreement. The term agreement includes wills, interpretation of document. Section 11. Interpretation of a written according to its legal meaning. The language of a written is to be interpreted according to the legal meaning it bears in the place of its execution unless the parties intended otherwise. Section 12. Instrument construed so as to give effect to all provision. In the construction of an instrument where there are several provision or particulars, such a construction is, if possible, to be adopted as will to give effect to all. Section 13. Interpretation according to intention, general and particular provision. In the construction of an instrument, the intention of the parties is to be pursued, and when general and particular provision are inconsistent, the latter is paramount to the former. So a particular intent will control a general one that is inconsistent with it. Section 14. Interpretation according to the circumstances. For the proper construction of an instrument, the circumstances under which it was made, including the situation of the subject thereof and of the parties to it, may be shown so that the judge may be placed in the position of those whose language he or she is to interpret. Section 15. Peculiar signification of terms. The terms of a writing are presumed to have been used in their primary general acceptation, but evidence is admissible to show that they have been a local, technical, or otherwise peculiar signification, and were so used and understood in the particular instance, in which case the agreement must be construed accordingly. Section 16. Written words controlled printed. When an instrument consists partly of a written words and partly of the printed form, and the two are inconsistent, former controls the latter. Section 17. Expert and interpreters to be used in explaining certain writings. When the character in which an instrument is written are difficult to be deciphered, or the language is not understood by the court, the evidence of the person skilled in deciphering the character or who understand the language is admissible to declare the characters or the meaning of the language. Section 18. Of two construction which preferred. When the terms of an agreement have been intended in a different sense by the different parties to it, that sense is to prevail against either party in which he or she suppose the other understood it, and when different construction of a provision are otherwise equally proper, that is to be taken which is the most favorable to the party in whose favor the provision was made. Section 19. Construction in favor of natural right. When an instrument is equally susceptible of two interpretations, one in favor of natural right and the other against it, the former is to be adopted. Section 20. Interpretation according to usage. An instrument may be construed according to usage in the order to determine its true character. Testimonial evidence. 1. Qualification of witness. Section 21. Witness their qualification. All person who can perceive and perceiving can make known their perception to others may be witness. Religious or political belief, interest in the outcome of the case or conviction of the crime, unless otherwise provided by the law, shall not be a ground for disqualification. Disqualification on by reason of mental incapacity or immaturity. So, it was deleted. So, Section 22, testimony confined to personal knowledge. A witness can testify only to those facts which he or she knows of his or her personal knowledge, that is, which are derived from his or her own perception. Section 23. Disqualification by reason of marriage. During the marriage, the husband or the wife cannot testify against other without the consent of the affected spouse, except in the civil case by one against the other, or in the criminal case for a crime committed by one against the other or the latter's direct descendant or ascendant. This Section 24, disqualification on by reason of privileged communication. The following person cannot testify as to matters learned in the confidence in the following cases. The husband or the wife during or after the marriage cannot be examined without the consent of the other as to any communication on received in confidence by one from the other during the marriage, except in the civil case by one against the other, or in the criminal case for a crime committed by one against the other or the latter's direct descendant or ascendants. An attorney or person reasonably believed by the client to be licensed to engage in the practice of law cannot, without the consent of the client, be examined as to any communication made by the client to him or her, or his or her advice given thereon in the course of or with a view to professional employment, nor can an attorney, secretary, stenographer, or clerk, or other person assisting the attorney be examined without the consent of the client and his or her employer concerned, any fact the knowledge of which has been acquired in such capacity, except in the following cases: furtherance of the crime or fraud, if the service or advice of the lawyer were sought or obtained to enable or aid anyone to commit or plan to commit what the client knew or reasonably should have known to be a crime or fraud. Claimants, through the same deceased client, as to a communication relevant to the issue between parties who claim through the same deceased client, regardless of whether the claims are by testate or intestate or inter vivos transaction. Breach of duty by lawyer or client, as to a communication relevant to the issue or breach of the duty by the lawyer to his or her client or by the client to his or her lawyer. Document attested by the lawyer as to communication or relevant to an issue concerning an attested document to which lawyer is an attested witness or joint clients as to communication on relevant to a matter of common interest between two or more clients if the communication on was made by any of them to a lawyer retained or consulted in common when offered in action between any of the clients unless they have expressly agreed otherwise. So, a physician, psychotherapist, or a person reasonably believed by the patient to be authorized practice medicine or psychotherapy cannot in a civil case without the consent of the patient be examined as to confidential communication made for the purpose of diagnosis or treatment of the patient's physical or mental or emotional condition including alcohol or drug addiction between the patient and his or her physician or psychotherapist. This privilege also applies to persons including members of the patient's family who have participated in the diagnosis or treatment of the patient under the direction of the physician or psychotherapist. A psychotherapist is a person licensed to practice medicine engaged in the diagnosis of treatment of a mental or emotional condition, or a person licensed as to psychologists by the government while similarly engaged. A minister, priest, or a person reasonably believed to be is so cannot, without the consent of the affected person, be examined as to any communication or confession to or any advice given by his or him or her in his or her professional character in the course of discipline enjoined by the church to which the minister or priest belongs. A public officer cannot be examined during or after his or her tenure as to communication on made to him or her official confidence when the court finds that the public interest would suffer by the disclosure. The communication on shall remain privileged even in the hands of the third person who may have obtained the information, provided that the original parties to the communication on took reasonably precaution to protect its confidentiality. Testimonial privilege, section 25. Parental and filial privilege. No person shall be compelled to testify against her parents, other direct ascendants, children, or other direct descendant, except when such testimony is indispensable in the crime against the person or by one parent against the other. Section 26. Privilege relating to the trade secret. A person cannot be compelled to testify about any trade secret unless non-disclosure will conceal fraud or otherwise work injustice. When disclosure is directed, the court shall take protective measure as the interest of the owner of the trade secret the parties, and the furtherance of justice may require. Admissions and confessions. Section 27. Admission of the party. The act, declaration, or omission of a party as to relevant fact may be given in the evidence against him or her. Section 28. Offer of compromise not admissible. In civil cases, an offer of compromise is not an admission of any liability, and it's not admissible in evidence against the offerer. Neither is evidence of the conduct nor statement made in compromise negotiation admissible except evidence otherwise discoverable or offered for another purpose such as providing bias or prejudice of a witness, negativing a contention of undue delay, or proving an effort to obstruct a criminal investigation or pre-section in criminal cases, except those involving quasi-offense, criminal negligence, or those allowed by the law, compromised, an offer of compromise by the accused may be received in evidence as an implied admission of guilt. A plea guilty a plea of guilty letter withdrawn, or an unacceptable offer of a plea of a guilty to a lesser offense not admissible in the evidence against the accused who made the plea or offer. Neither is any statement made in the course of the plea bargaining with the prosecution which does not result in the plea of guilty or witness result in a plea of guilty letter withdrawn admissible. An offer to pay or the payment of the medical, hospital, or other expenses occasioned by the injury is not admissible in evidence as proof of civil or criminal liability for the injury. Section 29. Admissible by third party. The right of a party cannot be prejudiced by an act, declaration, or omission of another except her and after provided. Section 30. Admission by co-partner or agent. The act or declaration of a party or agent authorized by the party to make a statement concerning the subject or within the scope of his or her authority and during the existence of the partnership or agency may be given in evidence against such party after partnership or agency is shown by evidence other than such act or declaration. The same rule applies to the act or declaration of a joint owner, joint debtor, or the other jointly interested with the party. Section 31. Admission by conspirator. The act or declaration of a conspirator in furtherance of the conspiracy and during its existence may be given in evidence against the conspiracy after the conspiracy is shown by evidence other than such act of declaration. Section 32. Admission by previous. Where one derives title to property from another, the latter's act, declaration, or omission in relation to the property is evidence against the former if done while the latter was holding the title. Section 33. Admission by silence. An act or declaration made in the presence and within the learning or observation of the party who thus says nothing when the act or declaration is such as natural to call for action or comment if not true, and when proper and possible for him or her to do so may be given in evidence against him or her. Section 34. Confession. The declaration of an accused acknowledging his or her guilt of the offense charged or of any offense necessarily include therein may be given in evidence against him or her. Previous conduct as evidence. Section 35. Similar acts as evidence. Evidence that one did or did not do a certain thing at one time is not admissible to prove that he or she did or did not do the same or similar thing at another time, but it may be received to prove a specific intent or knowledge, identity, plan, system, scheme, habit, custom, or usage, and the like. Section 36. An acceptable offer. An offer in the writing to pay a particular sum of money or a deliver written an instrument or specific professional property is, if rejected without valid cause, equivalent to the actual production and the tender of the money, instrument, or property.